All right, everybody, let's get ready for another deep dive.
Ready when you are.
Okay, so today we're going to be looking at QA engineering in India.
Sound good.
Specifically, should you stay in your current job or should you switch to a new company?
Yeah, that's a big question a lot of people are thinking about over there.
Definitely. And we're going to try to help you figure that out a little bit today.
Right.
So to do that, we're going to be using a podcast called Navigating the QA Engineer Career Path in India. Growth, benefits, and why you should consider switching jobs.
Okay.
And hopefully we can use this to really help you figure out what's best for your career in India.
Yeah, India's got a really interesting tech scene right now, so.
It really does. So let's just set the stage a little bit first.
Okay.
The Indian tech scene is booming like crazy right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of demand. There are tons of opportunities.
Yeah.
But, is it really all it's cracked up to be?
Well, it's a really hot market. They're saying it's going to grow something like 15% in the next 5 years. But the experience can really be different depending on the type of company you're at.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So I guess that means we're not just talking about the big companies like TCS or Infosys or Wipro.
Right.
We're also talking about some of the smaller companies and startups.
Yeah, exactly. You got those big giants that everybody knows.
Right.
And they're known for being stable and having a good career path. But then you have all these smaller companies and startups.
Wait, so what is the difference exactly between a smaller company and a startup?
Well, the smaller companies are a little bit more established,
Okay.
a little more stable,
Gotcha.
maybe not as fast growing as a startup.
Makes sense.
Startups are, moving really fast, innovating all the time,
Sure.
and it's a lot less hierarchy, I guess you could say.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you're trading off a little bit of that security,
Right.
but you get to,
Yeah,
make a bigger impact
exactly.
earlier on.
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine you've got this nice, comfy job
Okay.
at a big, well-known company. Steady paycheck, good benefits, maybe even like a ping pong table in the break room.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds pretty good, right?
Definitely tempting.
Stability, has its perks,
For sure.
but is it worth it to maybe miss out on some faster growth and learning opportunities?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, staying with one company has its perks.
Sure.
You build up relationships and you really get to know the systems.
Right.
And the career progression is usually pretty predictable.
But then couldn't that lead to a little bit of stagnation, though?
Oh, for sure.
Especially in a field like QA, where things are constantly changing.
Yeah, and that's where switching jobs can really benefit you.
Oh, okay.
You get to learn new things.
Right.
And work on different types of projects with different technologies.
So it's more about being strategic than just being loyal to one company.
Exactly. And in India, switching jobs is one of the best ways to get a good raise.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're talking 20 to 30% every time you switch.
Wow.
And even more if you have some specific skills.
Hold on. What kind of skills are we talking about here?
Well, think about things like automation testing,
Okay.
using tools like Selenium or Cypress,
Right.
or performance testing or API testing or even AI and machine learning.
So it's not just about knowing how to, find bugs and stuff.
No, you really have to understand the technology behind it.
Gotcha.
The more you know, the more valuable you are.
And the more money you make.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that's really interesting about startups.
Okay, so let's talk about startups then.
All right.
What is the appeal for QA engineers to work at a startup?
Well, I mean, the perks are nice, but it's really more than that.
Yeah.
You get to do a lot of different things
Right.
and make a real impact right away.
So it's not just being a little tiny part of a giant company.
Right. You're actually shaping how the product is made.
That sounds pretty cool.
It is. It's really rewarding.
Yeah.
You're on this small team and you're not just testing, but you're really helping to develop the whole product.
I can see how that would be appealing. But what are the risks involved?
Oh, there's definitely more risk.
Yeah.
But there's also the possibility of a bigger reward.
True.
Your career can move faster.
Okay.
People will see the work you're doing.
Right.
And if the company does well, you might end up with stock options that could make you a lot of money.
So it's kind of a gamble, but a gamble that could pay off big time.
Exactly.
Okay, but let's talk about the actual numbers here.
Okay.
What's the difference in how much money you make if you stay at one job versus switching?
And that's where it gets really interesting.
Yep.
Say you start out making 6 lakhs a year at a big company.
Okay.
After 5 years with those raises, you're probably making a decent amount.
Sure. But what if you switch jobs every couple of years and get those 20% raises?
Well, then you'd be making a lot more.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's hear those numbers. Hashtag TTS, the deep dive, episode 2025-0117. part 2 of 3.
So if you stay at that company for 6 years with those 8 to 10% raises, you're probably making about 9,29,295 rupees.
Okay, so not bad.
No, not bad at all.
But what about if we switch it up and switch jobs every 2 years and get those 20% raises?
Then you'd be making 11,66,400 rupees.
Wow, so that's a difference of over 2 lakhs.
It is.
That's pretty significant.
Yeah, it really shows you how much more you can make if you're smart about your career.
Yeah, especially in QA where the demand is so high.
Right. And don't forget, it's not just about the money.
True.
When you switch jobs, you get to work on different projects and learn different technologies.
Yeah, it's true.
You might end up leading a team or working on automation or even be in charge of QA for a whole new product.
So you're not just making more money.
Right.
You're also becoming a better QA engineer.
It's exactly.
With more skills.
Yeah, and you're learning new ways to solve problems.
That's a good point.
It's like you're adding new tools to your toolbox every time you switch. Yeah.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Thanks.
So we've talked about money and professional development, but what about finding a job that you're actually passionate about?
Oh, that's so important.
Yeah.
Imagine waking up every day and being excited to go to work.
That'd be amazing.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because you actually care about what you're doing.
Right.
And that's something you can find when you switch jobs.
Yeah, you get to try different companies and teams and even industries
Exactly.
and figure out what you really like.
And what you're good at.
Yeah. So it's all about taking charge of your career.
It is.
And making sure it's going in the direction you want it to.
Exactly. And sometimes that means taking a chance on something new.
Even if it's a little bit risky.
Especially in India, things change so fast.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to be able to adapt and learn new things if you want to be successful.
So for our listeners who might be feeling a little stuck or not sure what to do next, what's like one piece of advice you would give them?
I would say don't be afraid to explore. Do some research, talk to people in the industry, stay up to date on what's happening.
Okay.
The more you know, the better decisions you can make.
That's good advice.
Thanks.
And remember, a career is a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
It's about making choices that will help you in the long run.
Exactly. Whether you decide to stay at your current job or switch to a new one,
Yeah.
the most important thing is to be proactive and have a plan.
I like that. Be proactive and have a plan.
Think about your skills and what you're passionate about, and then use that to figure out what you want to do.
Okay, so now let's move on to something else that's really important.
Right.
The challenges of actually switching jobs.
Okay.
It's one thing to talk about the benefits,
Right.
but what about the hurdles you might have to overcome?
Yeah, let's talk about those.
What are some of the common challenges that QA engineers face when they're trying to switch jobs in India?
Well, one of the biggest ones is just getting through the interview process.
Oh, yeah.
There are so many people applying for jobs. Companies are looking for the best of the best.
So they really want to make sure they're finding the right person.
Exactly.
Not just someone with the technical skills, but someone who's a good fit for the team
Someone who can communicate well.
and has the right attitude.
Exactly. And that's where networking comes in.
Networking.
Yeah, going to industry events,
Okay.
connecting with people on LinkedIn,
Right.
even just reaching out to people who work at companies you admire.
So just putting yourself out there.
Yeah, it really helps.
But what about the technical skills?
Oh, yeah.
Are there certain skills or certifications that are really in demand right now?
Definitely. We talked about automation earlier.
Right.
If you know how to use tools like Selenium Cypress or Appium, you're going to be in high demand.
Yeah.
And don't forget about performance testing and API testing. Those are becoming really important too.
So it's not enough to just find bugs.
No.
You have to know how to write automated tests,
Right.
analyze performance, and make sure the APIs are working properly.
Exactly. You have to have a wide range of skills.
And what about certifications?
They can definitely help.
Yeah.
They show that you're serious about your career and that you have expertise in specific areas.
So it's something to think about.
It is.
Okay, so we've talked about networking, technical skills, and certifications. What else should QA engineers keep in mind when they're switching jobs?
Well, cultural fit is really important.
Nice neutral fit.
Yeah. Every company has its own culture and values.
Right.
You want to find a place where you feel comfortable and like you belong.
Makes sense.
So don't be afraid to ask questions during the interview about the company culture,
Okay.
what the team is like,
Right.
and the work-life balance.
So it's not just about the job itself.
No, it's about finding the right company for you.
A place where you can grow and be happy.
Exactly. And location is important too.
Oh, yeah. India has so many different tech hubs.
It does. Each one has its own advantages and disadvantages.
So you have to think about if you're willing to relocate,
And if you are, you need to do your research.
Yeah, find out about the cost of living
The job market.
and the lifestyle
Right.
to make sure it's a good fit for you.
Exactly. So switching jobs is a big decision.
It is.
But if you plan carefully and do your research, it can be a really positive step in your career.
And even if you decide to stay at your current job, you should still be learning new things and looking for opportunities to grow.
Oh, definitely. The tech world changes so fast.
Yeah.
You can't just sit back and relax.
You have to keep learning and adapting.
Exactly.
Okay, so now let's talk about something that's probably on everyone's mind.
Okay.
Salary.
All right.
In India, what can QA engineers expect to make at different stages of their careers?
Well, it really depends on a lot of things.
Like what?
Experience, skills, location, company size, and industry.
Okay, so there's no easy answer.
No, but I can give you a general idea.
Okay, let's do it.
So for entry-level QA engineers with 1 or 2 years of experience, salaries usually start around 3 to 5 lakhs per year.
So even starting out, you can make a decent salary.
You can.
What about after a few years of experience?
Once you have 3 to 5 years of experience, you can expect to make between 6 and 10 lakhs per year.
Wow, that's a big jump.
It is.
So it really pays to gain experience and develop your skills.
Definitely. And what about those who make it to the senior level or leadership roles?
Yeah, what about them? Hashtag TTS, the Deep Dive episode 2025-01-17, part 3 of 3.
Once you hit that 7-year mark and you're in a senior or leadership role,
Okay.
you could be making upwards of 12 lakhs a year.
Wow.
Some people even make 20 lakhs or more.
Really?
It all depends on the company and how much responsibility you have.
So QA can be a pretty lucrative career,
It can.
but it's not all about the money.
Right. You also have to think about things like company culture, work-life balance,
Yeah.
and opportunities for growth.
It's about finding the right fit
Exactly. A place where you feel valued and challenged.
and where you enjoy going to work. Okay, so let's talk about something else that's really important.
Okay.
Continuous learning.
Oh, yeah?
In QA, you can't just learn a few things and stop there.
No way. Technology changes so fast.
Right.
You have to keep learning new things if you want to stay ahead of the game.
So what are some ways that QA engineers can stay up to date?
Well, there are a lot of resources out there.
Like what?
You can take online courses, read industry blogs, listen to podcasts,
Right.
and go to conferences and workshops.
Oh yeah, conferences are great for networking too.
Yeah, networking is so important.
Yeah, it's a great way to connect with other QA professionals,
Share knowledge,
learn from each other.
and build relationships that can help you throughout your career.
So to sum up our deep dive today, I think we can all agree that QA in India is a challenging
And rewarding.
field to be in.
Definitely.
It's a field where you need to be constantly learning
Adapting to new technologies.
and have a real passion for quality.
But if you have all that,
The rewards can be amazing.
they can,
So for all our listeners out there who are interested in QA,
or already working in QA,
what's one last piece of advice you would give them?
I would say embrace the journey.
Oh, I like that.
QA is always changing.
Right.
So there's always something new to learn.
And new challenges to tackle.
Exactly.
Don't be afraid to take risks
Try new things.
and step outside of your comfort zone.
And remember, the QA community is here to support you.
That's right.
So don't be afraid to reach out to others, ask questions, and share your experiences.
Awesome. Well, thank you to everyone for joining us on this deep dive into the world of QA engineering in India.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you found it helpful and maybe even a little inspiring.
We did too.
And until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep on testing.
See you next time.